Unbelievable. Trump just addressed a rally in Racine, Wisconsin, even though the vacant fields west of downtown Racine served as a local symbol of Trump's unmet promises. 6 years ago, Trump had broken ground for Foxconn at Racine. The factory had promised 13,000 jobs, but later only created 1,500 positions. Let's analyze this.
You know, I love Milwaukee. I was the one that picked Milwaukee, I have to tell you. I was the one that picked it. These lying people that they say, oh, he doesn't like Milwaukee. I love Milwaukee. I said, you got to fix the crime. We all know that. You got to make sure the election's honest. But I'm the one that picked Milwaukee.
Straight off the bat, the customary Trump backflip right there. According to the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel article published on June 13, 2024, Donald Trump on Thursday had called Milwaukee a horrible city. Trump made a comment to White House Republicans in a morning meeting on Capitol Hill to discuss campaign strategies among other GOP priorities ahead of the 2024 election. Milwaukee, where we're having our convention, is a horrible city, Trump had told the GOP lawmakers, according to a report from Punchbowl News. Let's look at the MSNBC news clip that reported Trump's horrible city comment.
The disgraced former president pulled a familiar yet sleazy tactic, criticizing a Democrat-led city that didn't vote for him. While meeting with GOP lawmakers, Trump reportedly made disparaging comments about Milwaukee, saying it is a, quote, horrible city. Now remember, the RNC plans to hold its convention in Milwaukee just this summer, where Trump is likely going to clinch the GOP presidential nomination. President Biden did not miss this chance to troll Donald Trump and push back on him almost immediately, tweeting, I happen to love Milwaukee.
But the controversy doesn't stop at Trump's two different takes on Milwaukee. According to an article published in The Hill on June 18, 2024, technology company Foxconn announced in 2017 that it planned to invest $10 billion in a facility Trump visited in 2018, during which he predicted the Foxconn campus would be the eighth wonder of the world. He used a golden shovel for the ceremonial groundbreaking. The project was eventually scaled back to less than $700 million, and the number of jobs created from the project was slashed from 13,000 to roughly 1,500. Then, Microsoft bought the land originally slated for the facility in April 2023 for a project that the Biden White House estimates will create 2,300 union construction jobs and 2,000 permanent jobs. The following CNBC YouTube clip is from 5 years ago. Let's take a look at it.
We all remember the promises, the voters in Wisconsin certainly do. President Trump proclaiming the eighth wonder of the world, cranking out giant video displays at the plant near Racine, and the state and local governments pitching in some $4 billion, a staggering amount of subsidies to lure the Taiwanese manufacturer there. Of the 13,000 jobs that were ultimately promised, at this point, at least as of the end of last year, only 550 have been created, according to the company. That's well short of the targets at this point.
So there was a stark contrast between the jobs that were promised and the jobs that were created, which were way less than the targeted amount, and which I believe was not good for the townspeople. According to the Hill article, Amar Musa, Biden's rapid response director, said Donald Trump was a disaster for the working families across Wisconsin, and his plans to cut taxes for billionaires and corporations will make life even more expensive if he is given the chance. Trump is in the race for himself and his rich friends, not the American people, Musa added. CNN factor-check Daniel Dale told Abby Phillip he found 30 obvious contradictions in Mr. Trump's speech. According to the article on HuffPost.com on 19th June 2024, some were his usual claims and theories about the 2020 elections, while others had a newer origin, such as a reference to a cheap fake edit of footage of President Joe Biden at the G7 meeting that made the rounds of right-wing media. He said Biden wandered off at the G7 and didn't know where he was, Dale summarized. Then he delivered a correction. No, Biden was briefly chatting with a skydiver who had landed near the group. Dale also delivered quick fact checks to Trump's claim about everything from Al Capone to Nancy Pelosi to taxes. He said Biden's plans would quadruple your taxes. Dale said total fiction.
He said insane asylums are being emptied by foreign countries to let people come to the U.S. as migrants. His own campaign cannot substantiate this claim. And he also said prisoners are coming in from jails in the Congo over the border. His campaign can't substantiate that either. He said President Obama cannot deport criminals to Latin American countries. Obama, in fact, could. He said Venezuela's crime is down 72% because of emigration to the U.S. Venezuela's violent deaths are actually down 25%, and that's for a variety of reasons. He said 17 or 18 million people have now entered illegally over the border. Experts say that's many millions too high.
The Republican former president was in this largely working-class lakeside city in 2018 to celebrate what was expected to be a $10 billion investment by Taiwanese technology group Foxconn. During his 2017 to 2021 term, Trump touted the facility, designed to produce TVs, as an example of how his America First policy had rejuvenated American manufacturing. However, the following clip posted in 2018 by CNBC questions the claims made back then.
It's funny you mentioned all that reporting. It's dozens of interviews, thousands of documents, months of work, all to say a very obvious thing, which is that there is no LCD factory in Wisconsin, and really there was never a plan for one. Foxconn, Trump, Wisconsin GOP all struck that deal without a firm plan to actually build a factory. And now, 3 years later, the building that is supposedly the factory has been permitted to be used as storage.
Nilay Patel, editor-in-chief of The Verge, published an article on his website on April 12, 2019. I'm quoting from the article. Earlier this week, The Verge published a lengthy investigation into the many innovation centers Foxconn has announced in Wisconsin as part of its deal with President Trump to build an LCD manufacturing plant in the state. After spending 10 days on the ground, we simply reported the obvious. Most of the innovation centers are empty. Some of the buildings were never actually purchased, and no one in Wisconsin seems to know what's going on. The article posted a photograph of the empty Wisconsin Innovation Center. The article stated that the state of Wisconsin had already spent hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars on the infrastructure, kicked people out of their homes, and embarked up to $4.5 billion in tax breaks against building it. So they deserve to know what Foxconn AI 8K plus 5G ecosystem was.
Look what happened. They dug a hole with those golden shovels, and then they fell into it. Look, they didn't shovel other dirt. They did shovel some dirt. 100 homes were bulldozed. They wasted hundreds of millions of dollars, your state and local tax dollars, to promise a project that never happened. Foxconn turned out to be just that, a con.
He failed. The jobs never came, the Biden campaign said in its email Tuesday. This isn't the only time Donald Trump screwed over workers when he was president. His economic agenda shuttered factories and incentivized companies to ship American jobs overseas, all while handing out tax breaks to the ultra-wealthy and big companies. Biden visited the site now owned by Microsoft in May and also mocked Trump over the failed Foxconn project. Are you kidding me? Look at what happened. Look what happened, Biden said. They dug a hole with those golden shovels and then they fell right into it. However, RNC spokesperson Anna Kelly said Joe Biden's policies have led to higher prices, lower wages, and a stalled manufacturing industry for families in Racine, and they've translated to rock-bottom approval for Biden across Wisconsin. Racine County voters delivered for President Trump in 2016 and 2020, and today it will be clearer than ever that they were ready to help send Wisconsin's 10 electoral votes to the GOP column this fall. That's it for today, folks. Keep watching the Daily News for more in-depth analysis. God bless America.